The life and sad ending of Billy Preston. Billy Preston was born William Everett Preston on September 2nd, 1946, in Houston, Texas. When he was just one, his parents divorced, and the family then relocated with his mother Robbie to South Central Los Angeles, where she started working as a funeral home secretary. His mother used to play the organ at Victory Baptist Church in Los Angeles, and little Billy began playing the family piano sitting on his mother's lap at the age of 3. Considered a child prodigy, Preston used to easily pick up the back tunes he heard. He was a self-learner and never took any music training. When the choir director of the church saw the 7-year-old wonder kid imitating his conducting motions, he placed Preston in front of the group. Eventually, it became a regular practice for the church's Sunday choir to witness a 150-voice choir of adults being directed by little Preston. By 10, he started performing on stage, playing piano for many gospel vocalists like Andrea Couch, James Cleveland, and Malia Jackson. When he was 11, he sang American pianist, singer-songwriter Fats Domino's hit song Blueberry Hill, along with American singer jazz pianist Nat King Cole at the latter's TV show. He also played as young W.C. Handy in Handy's biographical film St. Louis Blues. He became an organist of the band Little Richard in 1962, and the following year he contributed as a pianist on Night Beat, an album by Sam Cooke. That year saw the release of his first album, 16-Year-Old Soul. In 1965, his fully instrumental album, The Most Exciting Organ Ever, was released. That same year, he also performed in the American musical variety series titled Shindig. He was inducted into the band of Ray Charles in 1967 and gradually started getting proposals from musicians to play for their sessions. He first met the Beatles while performing for Little Richard's touring band in Hamburg in 1962, and later hooked up with the band in 1969 at the verge of their breakup. He was invited by Harrison to participate in the last 9 days of sessions of their album Let It Be, which was originally conceived as Get Back. He performed at the Beatles' rooftop concert, the band's impromptu concert, on January 30th, 1969, held at the roof of Apple headquarters in central London, making the final public performance of the band. The song Get Back, that was released by the Beatles, initially as a single on April 11, 1969, was credited to the Beatles with Billy Preston, thus making Preston the sole musician to receive official acknowledgement on a Beatles release. The song was later included as the closing track of the album Let It Be. Preston was often referred to as the fifth Beatle during the recording of Get Back. In August 1969, his studio album, That's the Way God Planned It, was released by the Beatles' Apple Record and produced by George Harrison. Renowned musicians like Doris Troy, Eric Clapton, and Keith Richards contributed to the album, apart from Harrison. The title track of that album, when released as a single, became a hit in Britain. He made key contributions to a couple of tracks of Abbey Road, namely I Want You and Something. It was the last record album of the Beatles, which was released on September 26, 1969. Though recorded earlier, Let It Be was released on May 8, 1970, post-breakup of the band, thus becoming the last released album of them. Post-breakup of the Beatles, he continued his collaborations with Harrison that saw him appearing in several solo albums and performing in concerts for the latter. He co-produced with Harrison's latter 1970 album, Encouraging Words, which included the track My Sweet Lord, that became an international hit. He accompanied Harrison during the Concert for Bangladesh in 1971 and the Tour of North America in 1974. His instrumental track, Out of Space, reached the number 2 spot on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 list and topped the R&B chart of Billboard magazine and fetched him the Grammy Award for Best Pop Instrumental Performance in 1972. From 1970 to 1977, he remained associated with the Rolling Stones as a keyboardist and from 1973 to 1977, he performed as the primary touring keyboardist of the band. Some of the band's albums that included his contributions were Sticky Fingers, Exile on Main Street, Goat's Head Soup, and It's Only Rock's Roll. In 1978's American jukebox musical film Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club, directed by Michael Schultz, Preston starred as Sgt. Pepper and also sang Get Back. He successfully released several solo albums, which had a number of chart-topping hit songs. Some such songs as Out of Space, Will It Go Round in Circles, and Nothing from Nothing. On November 29, 2002, Preston participated in Concert for George, conducted at London's Royal Albert Hall in memory of Harrison on his first death anniversary. Throughout his musical journey, he worked with famous artists like Sam Cooke, Soretta, Lennon, Eric Clapton, Ray Charles, and Ringo Starr. He faced a lot of hardships in his personal life, including enduring sexual abuse as a child, coping with his own sexual orientation, an unsuccessful relationship with actress-model Kathy Silva, cocaine addiction, a visit to drug rehab, and getting arrested several times with charges like drug abuse, insurance fraud, and sexual assault. He suffered from hypertension and kidney disease in his later years and underwent a kidney transplant in 2002. His drug addiction led him to rehab in Malibu, California, and after suffering from pericarditis and subsequent respiratory failure, he went into a coma on November 21, 2005. On June 6, 2006, he died in Scottsdale, Arizona, and following a funeral on June 20th at the Faithful Bible Church in California, his remains were buried at the Inglewood Park Cemetery.